The name of my YouTube channel is Revolutionary Mindset. Now, you might be thinking, what do I mean by a revolutionary mindset? Well, let's just break it down. When you think of the word revolutionary, what do you think of? You probably think of some social figure who was the catalyst for change, perhaps Muhammad Gandhi or Martin Luther King. And there is one thing that all of these people have in common, and I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna summarize per se the definition, or multiple definitions of revolutionary. I think that all of those people had in common that they were able to not only create a revolution externally, but it first started inwardly. See, everything that we see, everything that happens in our lives in the world is all just an extension of what's happening in here. Revolutionary, you think of the word revolution, to spin around, and one of the definitions is essentially a celestial body that is orbiting another celestial body. For instance, the Earth orbits the Sun, and the other planets, Jupiter, Saturn, whatever it may be, orbits the Sun. The Moon orbits the Earth. Celestial bodies moving around. Well, it's interesting because we, human beings, are also celestial bodies. We are orbiting around, making cycles around the different areas of gravity in our life that are pulling us towards. You find yourself in this cycle, caught up in the cycle again, or it's like we go through these ups and downs, these highs and these lows, and somehow, like seasons, we end up going through different portions in life that bring us back around. It seems full circle many times. You think of revolutionary or revolution, you think of drastic change, epiphany. I had a revolution, I had a revelation. And so it's this whole idea of drastic change. You think of revolution in terms of industrial revolution, the turning of ages, the turning of pages. I think that really revolution has to do with a relationship with ourself first, before it has to do with anything else. Revolution starts inward and then goes outward. I find it interesting that in the word revolutionary is the word evolution or evolutionary. And you can debate whether humans evolved from apes and Homo sapiens. That's not the point. Or the stoned ape theory, or whether humanity is only 10,000 years old. Regardless, we are all evolving. Even as here and now people, our bodies grow, our mindsets change, and so I want to make the case that we are all evolving, that humanity is constantly evolving. You are constantly evolving as a person. Every day you are different than you were yesterday, and tomorrow you'll be different than you were today. In a sense, we are all evolving. And so I think that in our evolution, it is our responsibility, our obligation to be moving culture forward. Now, physically, we're not necessarily evolving per se. Maybe we are, but certainly mentally we are evolving and changing. And so I think when it comes to how we deal with ourselves and our family and our friends, our community, our society, our culture at large, are we moving forward in a good way? Are we moving in a direction that is full of unconditional love and regard, full of acceptance and compassion for not only ourselves but our world? Now, when I talk about the world, essentially I'm talking about our mind. An ancient hermeneutic principle states that the world is mind. See, nothing happens in the world unless it first happens in the mind. There cannot be a chair without me first engineering or creating a chair in my mind. I then take that and I transition it into reality. Therefore, when I say mindset, and when I talk about a revolutionary mindset, I'm talking about how we control our mind. Our minds are supercomputers, programmed. Everything we do has a certain database, the decisions we make. And when we understand that everything we do and everything we hear is programming our mind, we have an opportunity to either adhere to the societal norms of mental programming, or to burst outside, revolutionize our mindsets, revolutionize our programming of our minds. I think part of it has to do with this idea and this practice of mindfulness, perhaps mindfulness meditation. You know, mindfulness is not, it sounds like mindful, but it's actually a mind filled with less. And in this essence, an empty mind is not a mind void. No, but an empty mind, a clear mind, not cluttered with all of the anxieties and, like I like to call it, societal bullshit of the world, but this mindfulness of acceptance, awareness of the present moment. To be okay with feeling how we feel, seeing what we see, accepting it for what it is and not rejecting it. To be congruent, congruency within ourselves. A while back, I remember this just came to my mind, I went through a period of isolation where I isolated myself from other people. And I remember turning and looking, I went on a hike. This for weeks, I'd been going on hikes by myself. And I turned and looked at my passenger seat, and I felt so lonely. I mean, I just felt like nobody cares about me. Nobody is here for me. And I remember feeling that loneliness and saying, you know what? In the past, I would have suppressed that. I don't feel lonely. And you know what? But I allowed myself the opportunity to sit there and cry in my loneliness. And that was actually a very healing thing for me, because it made me actually realize, actually come to grips with, wow, I am lonely right now. That gives me an opportunity to say, what will I do about it? And that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. What will we do about it? That is the question of a revolutionary mindset. I think one of the most powerful things about having a revolutionary mindset is having a powerful personal philosophy. And this is something that I will talk about in future videos. But I think having a powerful personal philosophy is something that me and my journey has saved me. Because I went through a time in my life where I felt all of my pillars were just crashing and burning down. But what do you do when you feel like your life is just crashing and burning all around you in chaos? Well, for me, my three main ideas of my personal philosophy are: number one, I will love myself. Number two, I will express myself. And number three, I will find the hope, the beauty in any and everything that happens to me. Well, I think that's about it. I'm going to be touching on some more things that I talked about today in future videos. Once again, just to give a little recap, revolution and a revolutionary mindset, it starts from within and pours outward. To evolve and move culture, your family, your society forward in a good direction, in a good way, is your obligation. It's not just an obligation, but it is a joyous obligation and responsibility I feel that each of us has. And lastly, the world is mind, that your mindset creates your life. Therefore, to change your mindset is to change your life in a good way. To have a revolutionary mindset is what this world needs in establishing peace, joy, and love. This is Revolutionary Mindset with Mike Mitch. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, like the video, comment on it, subscribe to it. Peace, blessings, and love.